Take a look at this video and tell me what you think. I can't believe it, but these people are just next level. They have absolutely no respect for America, no respect for our way of life, freedom of speech, so arrogant, so misguided on history, and they truly are power hungry. Wait till you see this.
Societies that fail to protect their Jews, or worse, turn against them, often hasten their own decline. Ancient Egypt enslaved the Jews, oppressed them harshly, and defied their cries for freedom, only to be broken by devastating plagues that struck at the heart of its power. Babylon razed Jerusalem, exiled its people, and soon vanished from history's stage. Mighty Rome crushed the Jewish quest for self-rule, destroyed the temple, only to fade into the history books. These are not coincidences. They form solemn, recurring patterns. Societies that oppress the Jewish people sow the seeds of their own erosion.
See, Jews always do this. They always love to pretend like it's everybody else against them and that there was just no reason for this so-called perceived anti-Semitism. None of this exists. Honestly, it doesn't. The anti-Semitism that exists today probably exists more in Gaza, where they're being genocided today. Honest to God, like, these people come to our country, they tell our politicians how it is, they pay them off, they blackmail them, and this is what the entire Epstein file dump was all about. It exposed the fact that our entire United States Congress is completely either bought off or blackmailed. And Trump is probably included in that, because when we've looked from the Epstein files, we see that he's implicated in all of this stuff, Howard Lutnick. And so ultimately, based on where the facts lead us, yes, we'll stick with that. We'll go with the facts. But ultimately, because of a few corrupt politicians who wanted to go and corrupt themselves, maybe some of them didn't even have a choice. Ultimately, the real issue here, we have a fifth column in the United States of America. And the Jewish question here is coming into play because here's the thing. These same people are coming into the United States telling us how we need to run our country when it's like this isn't their country. They have a country. They have Israel, which the United States built for them. We built Israel for you, Israel. Okay, if it wasn't for us, there would be no Israel. Actually, our soldiers died for you. Our taxes paid for this war. Our taxes paid for all of this. So the audacity and the nerve of this group of people, again, if they didn't look like the white Germanic race, again, they don't even identify as white, but they are white-skinned. And so whenever a tragedy happens to anybody or any other kind of race, guess who gets blamed? The white people, the white Christians. When overall, who started all of it? The Jews, these people. And so it's so unfair that what they are constantly doing, the gaslighting, the lying, and not even acknowledging the fact that they always like to say October 7th is why we acted this way. It's like, no, October 7th was an Israeli setup. That's planned. We all know that already. That's actually already known. So it's not a debate, and it's not an excuse for genocide and completely ethnically cleansing an entire race. They want to call the white Christians Nazis. They want to call America Rome, and they want to call us a genociding race. That is them. That is the Jewish people. Absolutely not. So unacceptable. Let's keep going.
America's extraordinary success flows from its historic embrace of Judeo-Christian values. I offer my assistance to this commission.
Judeo-Christianity is such a myth. There is no such thing as Judeo-Christianity. Christianity and Judaism do not go together as religions. Judaism is more close to Luciferianism or Satanism, actually, based on the Zohar laws, based on the protocols of Zion, based on the Talmudic doctrines and what they believe and they worship. They do not believe in the same things that Christians believe. It's a joke to them. They laugh at this entire notion of Judeo-Christianity. They use this as a front for political purposes. They use this rhetoric as an excuse to really impose more laws on the freedom of speech and all of these things. The goal here is to destroy America, right? The goal here is to destroy modern Rome, which is Esau, Amalek, right? As they like to call it. And so it's important for them that they continue this narrative that the white Christians, that the Romans, that Rome, modern Rome, America and Europe, this is their real belief system. This is actually disillusion. This is complete psychotic behavior. Actually, there is like real studies that can tie to mental illness with all of this. Okay, I'm a Christian myself. I am a Christian, but I'm not a Judeo-Christian because those two things are not the same. Jews and Christians are not the same. Jews do not believe that Christ was the Messiah. They spit at Christians when you go to Jerusalem. Look at the videos on X if you don't believe me. So these are the people who are telling us how to live, telling us how we need to run our country. And it's like, actually, the only reason you people ever gained power is because you came in here planting devices in our offices. We tried to help. We'd lend you a helping hand in war, and you would then fund our enemies. You would have us fight your war against Iraq, but then you'd fund Iraq. See, this is how the Jew fights their wars. And they control the shipping routes, the supply chains. Okay, so this is how they really do it. And economic warfare. And so when people can't understand this is how and why they rule. And this is how we've ruled over many countries for a long time. But one thing he's wrong about is that our power as a nation does not come from Judeo-Christianity. It comes from Christianity. It comes from Catholicism. It comes from those two things. It does not come from Judaism or Judeo-Christianity. That doesn't exist. They're completely two different things. They're not the same thing.
And the White House, recommendations, implementation, whatever is needed. This is the hill I am willing to die on. I'm Yisrael Chai. Thank you.
And the people clap. At the end of the day, we are losing our country because of this group of people. And this is not anti-Semitic for me to say this. This is just fact. This is what's happening. I'm saying this as somebody who served my country, police officer. I'm a realtor. I'm an entrepreneur, all these things. I love America. I love Christianity. What I don't love is what I've learned about Judaism and what these people really think about Christianity, what they think about the white race through the clergy plan and the Great Replacement, which is happening now in the United Kingdom and in America, soon to come. So if you think these things aren't happening, aren't coming, if you think that Judeo-Christianity is this real thing that actually exists, you don't understand what's really happening before your eyes. See, this is one of the most dangerous times in history because this war will not be fought by missiles, so to speak. It will. But ultimately, at a higher level, it'll be fought by information. It'll be fought by psychological warfare. It'll be fought by spiritual war. This is the one world government that we've been talking about for years. See, none of this surprises me. I've been staying up on this information for years, since 2016, 2015, really when Trump started running for office, I started paying attention. And the one thing I missed is that Trump converted to Judaism in 2017, 2022. And whether that was, and we all believed that, well, that's just for show. Well, that's just because Trump's a schmoozer. But ultimately, we got played as America, and we elected a Jewish president. And so now our country is a Jewish country, which means that essentially we are basically sided with Israel. We're not just sided with Israel. We're owned by Israel. We're occupied by the state of Israel, Mossad, ISIS. So it's sad, unfortunately. But for him to say any of these things is untrue. The only reason the American people and Rome fell was because the people were happy. The people did not want war. There's a time and a place for war. And for the innocent, good people in the world, they don't want to be fighting wars all the time. So what happened was just like it happened now. Okay, the average American was doing great. The average Roman, whatever you want to call it. The average American was doing good. And so nobody wanted to go fight a war. Okay, we had seen Vietnam and what a disaster that was. Thank you, Henry Kissinger, for getting us into that. And then we saw what happened in Desert Storm, and then we saw what happened in Iraq, and then we saw what happened in all these other wars. And then we finally realized, well, who's paying for these wars? Well, it's the state of Israel, or it's the United States of America on behalf of Israel. Who killed JFK? Well, it was the Israeli intelligence services, which is Mossad, and also CIA. It was an inside job. But see, these are the people who are running our country. And so we've just been blinded from this truth. The red pill now is to not call Jeffrey Epstein some Satanist, to not call him a spy or a honeypot or a CIA agent. He was a Jewish spy. He was a Jewish operative, a Jewish intelligence operative. And his role and position was to blackmail politicians, United States politicians specifically. That's why he was given all this money, mansions, boats, all these things. Because he was supposed to live out billionaire bachelor lifestyle. And he was supposed to attract these other entrepreneurs to these islands, Epstein Island, Little St. James Island, and was supposed to corrupt these people, gun to the head maybe even. As long as you had him at the party. As long as these people are on the list, then that pretty much accomplishes the goal in itself, doesn't it? Of what we're seeing now. Let's watch this clip one more time.
Societies that fail to protect their Jews, or worse, turn against them, often hasten their own decline. Ancient Egypt enslaved the Jews, oppressed them harshly, and defied their cries for freedom, only to be broken by devastating plagues that struck at the heart of its power. Babylon razed Jerusalem.
Is that supposed to be a threat? Are they threatening us? Are they saying that we're going to get another plague? We already got COVID, right? Who was behind that? Well, we found out that it was Fauci. We found out that they were already funding gain-of-function research. We found out that all of this research was done right in the labs in North Carolina. Isn't that interesting? Then they said it was China. They said it was all these other places. It was America. It was a bioweapon. That's what this was. And then the real bioweapon was the vaccine. All the people who got the COVID vaccine. Isn't that interesting? So that's the truth they don't want you to know.
Exiled its people and soon vanished from history's stage. Mighty Rome crushed the Jewish quest for self-rule, destroyed the temple, only to fade into the history books. These are not coincidences. They form solemn, recurring patterns. Societies that oppress the...
Hey, buddy, Rome never went away. Rome is still right here. That's why you guys are still calling us that. We're still here, and we'll be here forever. You guys, maybe not. With the behavior that the Jewish people are doing on the entire planet, Israel isn't going to have any allies. And I can tell you right now, the American people, all the psychological warfare that you're going to put on us in the next 5-10 years, it won't work. All the censorship efforts, all the social media silencing, the shadow banning, none of it's going to work, because eventually the people will rise up in a peaceful way, perhaps, maybe not in a peaceful way, but ultimately the right things are going to happen so that, freedom is restored in this country. Again, I don't call for violence on anybody. Everybody has their rights. Everybody deserves their dignity and their human dignity, all of those things. I believe that wars should be fought by strategy, should be fought by cunning spirit, should be fought by, obviously economics, all of these things. But I also think that there's limitations to war, because ultimately, not only does it hurt you, you can do anything you want in war. There's no rules to war. That's stupid to say that. But the one reason that that's not stupid to say that is because when you act as the Jewish people have in current times, and really throughout all of history, 109 different countries the Jewish people have been kicked out of. Well, why is that? You think that's just for nothing? It's like, no, it's not for nothing. It's because we're seeing the same things now. We read the Talmud. We've read the Torah. We've read the Zohar laws. We considered it. We considered the whole Jew thing, especially the Christians. That's the funny thing. A lot of us Christians, we've considered like the whole, maybe convert to Judaism. What would that be like? Because we are, Judeo-Christians. We're like one and the same, but we're not. The educated Christians know that there is no similarity, that there is no connection. There is no Judeo-Christianity. It is Christian, Catholicism, Judaism, Islam. Those are the religions. Those are your choices. Really, Catholicism and Christianity go together, so you can call it Christendom. But Christendom, and then you have Islam and Judaism. Ultimately, fundamentally, those are the three core religions. And I believe the other two religions don't serve for peace or freedom. Because obviously, as we can see today, under a Jewish economy, under a Jewish White House, a Jewish president, things aren't going so hot.
Jewish people sow the seeds of their own erosion. America's extraordinary success flows from its historic embrace of Judeo-Christian values. I offer my assistance to this commission and the White House, recommendations, implementation, whatever is needed. This is the hill I am willing to die on. I'm Yisrael Chai. Thank you.
We'll see about that, buddy. We'll see about that. America first. America first.